Hey everyone, it's the Koopa Man. Last time, we covered the Sony State of Play as part of Summer Gamesfest and found out there was so much surprisingly good in it, I had to split my coverage into two parts. This time, we're gonna dive into the Gamefest main event. So let's dive in, shall we? A couple days after Sony's surprisingly good State of Play, Jeff Keighley hosted the Summer Gamesfest showcase, which opened with him showing the top 10 best-selling games on Steam, which included Elder Scrolls Oblivion Remaster, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Expedition 33, Civilization 6, Monster Hunter Wilds, and Elden Ring Night Rain. Yeah, all of these are pretty good games, save for the issues with Civ 6, which it's not my wheelhouse, so I can't speak in length. But anyone who notices my shitposting on Twitter, you know that these are all games that various retard anti-woke grifter culture warriors called woke for little to no reason. So seeing all these games are doing really well makes me wonder if John Della Rose or Razorfist considered taking my advice of doing a flip.
I'm going to jump! No! Do a flip!
Of course, soon he got into the actual world premieres with a debut trailer for Mortal Shell 2. To be honest, I didn't even remember Mortal Shell 1. But it looks good if you like Dark Souls games. Though one of my main criticisms of Summer Game Fest and the accompanying shows is the overuse of Dark Souls clones that still flood the market. This is hardly a new trend in gaming. Its roots are a bit older than the isekai trend in anime and manga, and it's no secret that in recent years that people have been growing fatigued with this type of game. Sure, there are examples of good ones still being made. Nioh 3, the sequel to Code Vein that was announced at this very showcase, and the Elden Ring DLC, but the vast majority of new titles these days seem to be copy-pasting the Dark Souls formula, themes, and storytelling without really putting in much effort otherwise. It's like that one kid who copies his friend's homework but then changes the answer slightly to make it seem like it was his own. And the fact that even with the fatigue being very well documented, the industry seems to be slow to respond to it and lacking in new and creative ideas. Them's the breaks, I guess. Keighley then announced the Star Wars Fortnite event before bringing on Hideo Kojima onto the stage to talk about Death Stranding, as well as Abraham Lincoln and why slavery is a moral evil, hence why Razorfist had to be sent to the hospital for an autistic aneurysm. Then there was a trailer for Sonic Crossworlds, which includes guest characters like Steve and Alex from Minecraft, Joker from Persona 5, Ichiban from Like a Dragon, and Hatsune Miku. As someone who loves the Sonic Sega All-Stars racing games, was disappointed in Sonic Team Racing, and who saw the leaks that imply a certain subnautical porous creature will be joining the roster, this made me very excited. Though between writing and recording, SpongeBob was indeed announced at the Kids' Choice Awards. And in light of this, I hereby take back anything bad I have said about Ian Flynn, who is now the best person ever for making SpongeBob canon to Sonic. May peace be upon him. Compared to Mario Kart World, which seems to have taken its ambition in a completely different direction to be an open world experience as well as a racing game, it'll be good to have a solid and focused mascot racer that's as good as CTR Nitro Fueled or Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. At least that's the hope. After that was the aforementioned Code Vein 2 reveal, as well as the end of The Abyss, a top-down horror game. And then the Mickey Mouse Boomer Shooter got shown off again, Mouse PI for Hire. I must say that Cuphead making the old-timey cartoon style popular in video games does seem like a missed blessing at times, but this Boomer Shooter does look really cool. Following a cinematic for what is sure to be a rather mid Game of Thrones RTS game, Atomic Heart 2 was announced, and I immediately wishlisted it and pointed and laughed at a certain obese manlet Canadian and anyone else who will likely boycott this game for being made by those evil nasty Russians, despite their claims that racism is wrong. Yeah, I lost all respect for the pro-Ukraine crowd when they started supporting Iran's government. The same Iranian government which is a puppet state of Russia and Putin, and produced drones to attack Ukraine during that war. In addition to the sequel, they also announced an MMO spin-off set in the same universe. Atomic Heart is a game that has me very interested, as it comes off like a spiritual successor to BioShock that blows BioShock Infinite out of the fucking water. Still, that won't stop disingenuous leaf people from trashing it. Speaking of, there's a petition to send Short Fat Otaku to fight in Ukraine to put his money where his mouth is if anyone's interested in signing. The link's in the description. Following that was the reveal of She-Hulk and Rocket Raccoon from Marvel Cosmic Invasion, bringing the roster up to 9 out of the 17 playable characters. Then Capcom showed their footage for their upcoming Onimusha game, which, thank God, is not an open world game, and it looks spectacular. After that, a 3D Among Us clone. Yeah, I'm not gonna be kind. It's Among Us, but with 3D humans. It's not even the first Among Us clone. There's that Death Note game that's sort of popular as well, but it's clearly just Among Us, and I already have Among Us. Granted, this kind of thing isn't new. The gaming industry is built on trend chasing. Back during the Sega Genesis days, everyone saw the popularity of radical animal mascot Sonic the Hedgehog and wanted to cash in. Hence, we ended up getting Bubsy Bobcat, Aero the Acrobat, and Zool. Some were even successful, like Spyro the Dragon and Crash Bandicoot. That's not even getting into the fact that Sonic himself was a trend chaser of Super Mario. The point here being is that all these social deduction and Dark Souls clone games shouldn't be all that surprising. The lack of original ideas is something that is and always has been part of gaming. After all, 99% of everything is pure garbage, and that's what makes it more impactful when something new and creative does come around. Thankfully, we got more cinematic cutscenes from Mafia the Old Country. The premise has me interested since its announcement, turn of the century Casa Nostra gang story set in the motherland of Sicily. Sign me the fuck up! Yacht Club Games is getting a new title called Mina the Hollower, and it's coming this Halloween, and if it's half as good as Shovel Knight was, it's gonna be an instant hit. I am, of course, skimming over a lot of the slop, like the Theater Kid mixtape game, the Deadpool VR game, and the 500th reveal trailer for Dying Light 2, so on and so forth. While every show does have slop, there's quite a lot of it relative to the Sony state of play, which is unfortunate because when Sony are the only ones showing games people want to play, it means the end times are near. Scott Pilgrim is getting a sequel beat-em-up game. Considering how popular the original beat-em-up was, this isn't all that surprising. With how many people demanded it be put on Steam, it was only a matter of time before they decided to cash in on the brand about an insufferable douche groomer dating a girl with a body count that's supposed to be comically hilarious, but is now kinda minuscule compared to real life. Koopa man, Swords wants to come in and correct you about Scott Pilgrim. He's not allowed to. Tell him to sit outside and think about what he did. Okay, you're the boss. Capcom doubled down on using the giant vampire lady from 8 to advertise their brand, which, okay, I may as well save it for its own video on Save Horny someday. Though it wasn't for no reason, as while I am skipping ahead a fair bit, honestly, to the final reveal of the show, it was announced that Resident Evil 9 is in development, which looks to be returning to Raccoon City, and hopefully nobody ever talks about the magic mushrooms ever again. Koopa man, he knows what he did. Alright. What was cool is that Street Fighter 6 is getting another character pass after lowering its price to a neat $60 for the base game in the first 2 passes, and it'll be starting with my favorite character, Sagat. Now there is a lot to criticize about Street Fighter 6 and how it repeated all the same mistakes of 5, including the arcade edition price drop that, while it did save 5, it also ended up screwing over the early adopters. I can't say I'm not excited to see these 4 new characters, and maybe more beyond it like Karen, Sakura, or Yori Yagami from King of Fighters. Or a full-on Capcom vs SNK 3 now that someone else is doing Marvel. Did I mention that as a positive yet? They announced Splitgate 2, which had the lead dev come out with a Make FPS Great Again hat, and the only reason I talk about it is because he cowardly cucked out and apologized for wearing said hat when a bunch of non-video game playing trannies complained. So why'd you wear it in the first fucking place, you damn coward? God, why do these people always cower and kowtow to people who never buy their games anyway? It's so fucking stupid. Good news though is that after that, a new title from RGG Studios was revealed. A pulp noir set in World War II Japan called Stranger Than Heaven, and it looks phenomenal. And of course, after that was the RE9 reveal, which again, seems like it'll be a return to basics. And that was that. No, I didn't watch Day of the Devs. Tim Schafer is a sniveling little sock puppet wearing sellout who would rather cater to activists than the people who made him a name in this industry. So fuck him and anyone he shows off. Of course there were other shows after this. Konami hosted one that I didn't see, yet I did hear that Bloober Team is working on a Silent Hill 1 remake. After talking to fans who played both the original and the remake of 2, it'll probably be alright. I know Zvi is on Suicide Watch though. I tuned out of the PC game show after seeing the reveal of the new Moomins game because there's nothing they could possibly show that topped that reveal for me.
Here they are for one and all. The Moomins are about to call. Come on and sit down here with me. They're here for you on your TV. They are the Moomins. They are the Moomins. So come with me, give me your hand. I'll take you up to Moomin Land. You can fly just like a bird and sing the best song ever heard. There were the Moomins. 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 Ba 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 ba
And Xbox did their own show, which, to save time, had more footage of Ninja Gaiden 4, which is already on my new games I want to get list. A very short list these days. They showed off their own handheld system, which can play every Xbox game in the library, and every game they showed off at the showcase. There was footage of Outer Worlds 2 and High on Life 2, which I say fuck Rick and Morty. Gears of War 1 is getting a remaster. Why they don't do it as a full trilogy like Halo did is beyond me, but hey, Gears 1 on Steam, here's hoping we get 2 and 3 in the future. Persona 4 is getting a remake, which I'm sure makes Swordsman very excited. Invincible is getting a 3-on-3 fighting game, which looks interesting, but there is an elephant in the room. So let's address it. Game Freak is developing a Soulsborne game. I know, crazy, right? And the crazier thing is that it actually looks like it won't be complete dog shit. So this can either mean one of two things. They put all their work into this game, which means Pokemon Legends ZA is going to be a half-assed suckfest, or they half-assed this game and it's going to end up looking like Cyberpunk 2077 on release.
Call it. Call it, yes. For what? Just call it. Well, we need to know what we're calling it for here.
You need to call it. I can't call it for you. It wouldn't be fair.
I didn't put nothing up.
Yes, you did. You've been putting it up your whole life. You just didn't know it.
Oh, and also the Rebel Wolves team announced their vampire game. Look, this video is long enough as it is without addressing how cool the new Blood of Dawnwalker looks. Just take my word for it and take my hot take of I hope both this game and Witcher 4 are good and leave it at that, okay? Sick of the fucking culture war drama. I already know what some of the things the dev lead said in the gameplay showcase, that the usual suspects, the terminally online furries, will backstab them inevitably anyway. I got this whole video planned about politics as your identity. Just wait for that, alright? Anyway, because I stopped myself from writing at 10 pages, and even then I split the video into 2 parts, I guess we'll call it here, and anything else that happened afterwards we'll talk about when Gamescom rolls around in August. The fact that this was 2 videos instead of the initially planned one is proof it's long enough, so let me give my closing thoughts. Sony was surprisingly good. Xbox had a few nice surprises, but was overall mediocre. The same can be said for the Game Fest main event. And the PC Gaming Showcase had the Moomins, so the PC Gaming Showcase wins Best in Show. That's my take. Let me know yours in the comments. If you like this video, leave a like and subscribe as it helps my channel grow. If you want to see more, check out my channel library as it's also a big help. And until next time, it has been the Koopa Man. Game on.
Can I come inside now? Hello? Is anyone there?